Hi, welcome to Live United. My name is Karen Knapp, President, CEO, United Way of St. Lucie County. Each and every day, your United Way donations are working in our community, whether it's advocating on behalf of key issues that are important to us all, or if it's volunteerism, finding volunteers, sending volunteers out to help those in need, to help those agencies that are helping people in need. Whether it's funding programs that are now vital to the well-being of members of our community. All of this is being done day in and day out with your United Way donation. And we want to thank all of our contributors, all of our volunteers. And we thank you for joining us here today because we're going to talk one-on-one with one of the funded partners, and it is 211 of the Treasure Coast, one of our funded partners. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
211 is an information referral crisis line. Let's talk about your mission and why it's important to have an agency like 211 in our community.
So we are really excited to be here. We do cover the 5-county area, and we are information resource and referral. So it doesn't matter if you need a hot meal, a food pantry, detox counseling, or just somebody to talk to. You can call us, and we can help with those, connect you with those services.
You know, it wasn't long ago when we were receiving many calls for food pantries, and people don't realize that they are all over the county. And also, there's also feeding sites that are available, and you have those that information as well, right?
Correct. So anytime you call us, we can let you know what's going on that day. It might be that week, and the different food pantries and hot meals. So any of those kinds of information.
Right. My daughter is a teacher, and I believe that she has conversations with a few of her parents about the fact that, you know, they are in need of finding a place where they're serving a hot meal. So I always tell her, well, just call 211. They have a list of all of those agencies that are doing that wonderful work.
Yes, and we have quite a few people that call us directly or that refer their clients to us. So we are happy to give that secondhand information. If you're a social worker, a teacher, a pastor, a preacher, you call us and you're like, I have somebody that's in need. How can I help them? And we'll help on that respect too.
And your agency helps people of all ages. You want to talk about that?
So it doesn't matter age, race, sex, money, any of that. You know, we can help everybody. So you can call us 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. So I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you find out something's wrong and you need just somebody to talk to, or you need us to connect you with someone. We're gonna help you with that.
Yeah, your suicide prevention line is vitally important to so many. I know I've heard a number of fantastic stories of success throughout the years.
Correct. So we answer the National Suicide and Rape Crisis line in our call center. And those calls come in. They ring a little bit differently in our call center than our general 211 line. So when those calls come in, we answer in less than 30 seconds. And we are going to break down those situations. We're going to defuse them, and we're going to help those people get out of that situation that they're in. So we have people call all the time. It's impressive, it's terrifying, and it's incredible what we are able to help with. So there is a rap artist that recently came out with a song. His name is Logic, or goes by Logic, and the song sings out the national number in it, as well as he wears a shirt with the National Suicide Prevention line on it. And when he performed, I think it was at the Grammys, our call number for our suicide line tripled for weeks afterwards. So just letting people know that it's available and that we're there is huge.
And you all are right there, you know, during a disaster and after a disaster. When you think of all the numbers that people are in need of following a disaster, or like I said, before a disaster, you know, your services are vital at that time.
So we do. We get all of the live feed information from all of our emergency centers in all 5 counties. So that is if you need to know if you need to evacuate for a hurricane, or if you're in a flood zone, or if it's safe to come back, or where's the local shelter, or who helps with special needs shelters, who can bring dogs, all of those questions. You can call us and we're going to have it all right there at one number. So dialing 211 versus calling the health department or the EOC or all of these, the local United Way, we have that information. It's coming right into us. And the nice thing is, if we lose power, which welcome to South Florida and hurricane season, we do quite a bit. We do have backup generators, but then if we still can't get online, all of our calls get transferred to a different call center. We happen to work with New Jersey quite closely, and so they will take over all of our calls, and they have that same information we have available to them in that situation.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Also, now it's tax season, and people are looking around, who can help me with my taxes?
Of
or
course.
where are there free tax
taxes.
services?
So you call us and we will connect you. We work with the VITA programs with all of our United Ways, which is fantastic. So we can get you scheduled or get you the information to get you scheduled to get your taxes done for free.
And people only have a few more weeks, and that's, of course, they're filing an extension.
Of course. I mean, I always wait till the last minute. I mean, so we're going to get those appointments. We're going to get you the connections to get those appointments. So
yeah, I mean, there are so many needs out there, and they vary. You're talking about needs of children, young adults, families, and senior citizens. I hear you have a wonderful program going on right now for our senior citizens.
Yes, our Sunshine program. This is by far my favorite thing that we do. And what we do is we make a daily phone call to seniors that are 60 or older or homebound. And we're going to call you every single day, 365 days a year. I don't care if it's Christmas, Easter, New Year's, we will call you. And that is just to have somebody to talk to. We have quite a few seniors that live alone, and we might be the only people they talk to each and every day. And then we also, if you don't answer on your second call, we're going to reach out to a point of contact you've given us. And that might be a neighbor, a landlord, or a loved one. That person can't reach you in a 30-minute window. We're going to send out local sheriff or fire rescue to do a well-being check. You might have mixed up your medications and passed out. You might have fallen. Something might have happened. And we want to make sure that you get the attention you need. So
yeah, that's great information for working individuals whose parent might be in need of additional hands-on watching services. So if they can know that someone else is calling their parent, I imagine it's a great peace of mind.
It is. It's
what a service.
Yes.
That alone is a huge help to many.
We call almost 600 seniors every single day, which is incredible to me. And we are always happy to take more clients for that program. So if anybody is in need, please call 211.
Let's talk about the area you serve. You serve St. Lucie County, but you serve the Treasure Coast. So
correct.
There are numerous areas and needs as well. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So our call center is located in Palm Beach County, but we do cover Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee counties for our call center. But 211 is a national initiative, so about 98% of the country is covered by a 211 call center. That means that anywhere in the country, pretty much, you can dial it and you're going to reach a call center. We all have a little bit different programming, but we are all information, resource, and referral.
And the information you sent me, how many people have you served? Over 100,000?
So in 2017, we received over 106,000 requests for help. That comes in via our phone line. We have web-based chat on our website. We have texting now, which is fantastic. And then we also have where you can just go on the website and search our resources.
And I know you break that down by county so that when United Way funds 211, those dollars stay here and all the services are provided to our residents with the United Way funds here locally.
Yes.
That 106,000 residents, so if you break that down, I imagine there's a portion of them that are St. Lucie County residents.
Of course.
But that still is a lot. I mean, when you think about it, we live in St. Lucie, we work in Martin, we live in St. Lucie. So really we take many times advantages of service in both areas.
And most of the services we work with do cover multiple counties, which is fantastic. So we work with 1,400 agencies that we can refer to and about 4,500 programs in the 5-county area. So it's really impressive what we cover and how many lives we actually get to touch.
What should a person expect when they call 211? Of course, you answer the phone, and what are the next steps?
So that's a great question. We answer some different questions, or excuse me, we ask some different questions, such as your location. So we want to know what county or zip code you're residing in. That is going to allow us to get specific on the services that are available for you. And then we're going to also ask some demographic questions for our funders. When we do our grant applications and things like that, they want to know who we're serving, what kinds of population, age, sex, race. So we're going to ask you those kinds of questions as well. Do you have children in the house? Is there a veteran in the home? This is going to open up our call center person, I'm losing my mind today, to be able to say, oh, you have children in the home? Do you need our Help Me Grow program? You have seniors in the household, or you have a veteran? You have different programs that are available to you. So it's really, we're not just going to say, oh, here's the food pantry you asked about.
Right. Well, look, right now, if you were to ask the question, are there children in the home? And they said yes, you could say, well, do you know of all the summer feeding programs? Do you know of the summer, daycare programs that are in St. Lucie County? And then you have that information for them. So that is a good sort of,
it's a good
opening.
Leeway. Yes.
Yeah.
So we connect them with not
leeway
only
into all those services.
Correct. So our Help Me Grow program, we always want to refer to if people are in need. That's making sure children 0 to 8 are hitting developmental milestones. And then with the summer coming, we do have all of the summer camp programs listed, as well as summer meals with the school district. So, which is just a wealth of information. And then when back to school comes around, we have all the information about free backpacks and where to go and how to get the different things you need.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
You deal with many organizations in St. Lucie County. We were just talking earlier about some of the task force you're on, and these organizations are running over 4,000 programs here in our community. So you really have to get around, right?
I tell people all the time that I cover the 4-county area for outreach. So I am lucky enough to sit on quite a few committees and boards and panels and really get the word out about what we do, as well as learn from the community what the needs are. So I am sitting as a chair on the opioid task force here for the Treasure Coast, and we have really pulled together the whole area of 4 counties, fire, EMS, police, sheriff's office, and all of the community partners are all sitting down at one table together to really get ahead of a problem that we really don't want here. So,
and there are other avenues to reach your services. I
There
see
are.
you have other online
yes.
databases.
You can pull up our database on our website, as well as use online chat, which for us people who used to use AOL Instant Messenger, it's very, very similar, or Facebook Messenger. It's on our website. You just log in. And then we also are texting. So that is a new component. And we are also doing crisis texting. We are now accredited to do that, which I didn't really know was a thing. So I was really excited to learn that. We have a lot of our teens and tweens that are using that program. You think about it, I don't like calling for pizza, not knowing who the person is that I'm talking to on the phone. Mm-hmm. So when you're young and you are in crisis and you don't want to necessarily somebody to know who you are, our calls are confidential. Our texts are confidential. Your mom's not going to be able to call and say, hey, what did my son say to you last week? All of that information is confidential unless you're threatening to harm yourself or others. So we want people to reach out when they just need somebody to talk to. And the texting has been a very good mask for a lot of people to be able to do that a little bit easier.
And with all the information you gather, you truly do understand the greatest need. And I know when United Way is looking at needs in our community, we always call 211 because you have access to so much information and so many people. One of the 3 that you've listed is affordable housing, and the next is mental health and substance abuse, as well as the need for people to pay utilities.
Correct. So those are our 3 highest in actually all 5 counties. As we all know, South Florida is a very expensive place to live, and we do have people contacting us for rental assistance, utility assistance, or they might have the money and just don't have a place to live. So we are able to connect them with services that can help them with that.
And so let's tell the viewing audience once again How do they contact 211?
So just like you would dial 911, you dial 211.
Right.
And if you want to text us, you're going to text us at 898-211, which comes out to TXT211 for those of us who used to have buttons on our phones.
Right.
And then our website is 211treasurecoast.org.
Oh. Well, we want to thank you for joining
so
us,
much.
Michelle. It's been a pleasure, and we will return in just a moment.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Hi, welcome back. My guests now are from Life Builders. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks, Karen.
Now, you've been around a while, but not everyone knows what Life Builders does or why it was created in the first place. Let's talk about your mission and then the gap that you're filling in our community.
Well, Lisa and I both work for the Public Defender's Office. We've both been there over 20 years. In 2009, with our boss, Diamond Liddy, we decided that we wanted to fix some of the gaps that we saw. And it was mostly financial. We would find that some of our clients in particular, because that's who we were working with at the Public Defender's Office, would be able, let's say, to have a job but not afford the work boots that they need to get to the job, or not have a bicycle to get to where they need to go. And so it was like dominoes, and once the first one fell, they just couldn't get back together, and their lives were just kind of torn apart because of these little things that could be helped. So we have programs at the Public Defender's Office. We've got drug court, mental health court, veterans court, diversion courts, and we have reentry services. And we saw pretty big gaps in the funding for those kind of things, like what I just said, like bicycles or work boots or...
Yeah, and it was really frustrating because you would see these clients who had done really well, whether they'd gone through a diversion court. I mean, we're talking about clients with, small offenses, possession charges, trespasses. They had either gone through a diversion court or gone through regular court, or they were part of the reentry program, and they were doing everything they could to stay on the straight and narrow, but they had couldn't buy a uniform to go to their job. So our whole thing, we would pass a basket around our office and be like, we don't want John to steal something because he literally does not have the money to be able to purchase it. Let's all chip in and get him those boots or that uniform. And we did that for years between all of us in our diversion courts. And there came a point where we said, those people are more successful, because when you give somebody hope and you give them the tools and the ability to do the right thing, a big percentage of the time they're going to do the right thing. So that was kind of how the concept of Life Builders was built. If we could get rid of these little tiny stumbling blocks that to you or I or many of the viewers would be nothing, but can be really, really, really detrimental to someone who has no financial ability. So that was kind of what the premise was. And then we said, well, let's help other people in the justice system, because people who are involved in dependency court, they're also in a really bad place. They've done everything. Dependency court are when children are taken away. Mm-hmm. They've done everything right. They've done their dependency plan. They've done their drug treatment. They've done their drug testing, and they get in front of the court. But if each child doesn't have their own bed, they can't have their children back. Now, regardless of anything, children belong with a parent, and a parent that's worked really hard to get their child back deserves to have their child back. But they couldn't have their child back because they couldn't afford the $350 mattresses they needed for the bunk beds. So we decided, well, that's something we can do too. We can talk to the case managers, and we can buy those mattresses. So that's
and victims too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are touched by the criminal justice system in particular. who aren't just the defendants, the person who commits the crime. There are their children, their parents,
Their grandparents who are now
grandparents.
taking care of the children.
Their spouse. If the person who committed the crime goes to prison, their spouse is left having to try to pay for, daycare and the apartment and, so many things without that other income. So there's a lot of people who are touched by the crime that was committed, who really are innocent in all of it. Also, victims. So if you have someone who I don't know, hit your car and your insurance doesn't pay for all of it, and the person is in prison, let's say for some whatever reason, well, how are you going to fix your car? So there are financial needs that cannot be met through typical funding and funding sources, and that's why we decided that this was a need that really is present in our community, and we had the ability to fill it.
And you collaborate with many other agencies in our community, because we talked earlier, you support in the way you just described, but you don't do client services, you don't do that one-on-one, but you do know where all the resources are in the community, so you're able to refer people to the resources available.
Right, and we do a lot of even some financial collaborations with some of the agencies. Vincent St. Paul, Mustard Seed, St. Lucie County Community Services, all have ability to pay utilities. And sometimes we'll get together on a client. We can pay $200, they can pay $200. So we've gotten a client into a new home or gotten their bill caught up by combining our resources, because the amount might have been too high for any one of our agencies, but when we combine together, it works really well. And one of the things that we do, and I know the other agencies do too, is we have a vetting process. We have volunteers that work for us who vet every client that comes in and vets what they're asking for. They're asking for rent. We call the landlord. We make sure the landlord owns that property. We want to make sure that Johnny wasn't out, drinking a six-pack while we're paying his rent. So we do that really well. We've always done that really well. And the hardest decision we make as board members, and because of what we do in our personal lives, like Katie said, we both work for the Public Defender's Office, is we turn people down who don't have the ability to pay the next month. And that's only because if Mustard Seed paid your rent last month and Vincent St. Paul is paying your rent this month and we're paying your rent the month after, and you have no job opportunities or are not going to be employed within the next 30 days, then we turn you down, because you have to have some kind of sustainability. Those are tough decisions to make.
We really treat the funds that come into Life Builders like it would be our money that we're giving away. We are very careful with what we spend. There's a lot in this system with our clients. There's a lot of opportunities for,
Deceit, fraud.
dishonesty. So we do everything that we could possibly do to make sure that that's not happening, and that our money's going to a valid place, to something that is going to make a difference. That's our whole goal. And if we pay your utilities this month, but you have absolutely no way to pay your utilities next month, then it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't
change anything.
Right. So what we can do with that person, though, because like you said, we are very familiar with all of the social service agencies, as well as our own with reentry services and stuff like that. So we can try to send people to other agencies that offer case management and stuff like that to get that help.
So I was going to ask you how someone qualifies for the program, but I guess it would be someone you might run into during, your day-to-day work.
Well, and we talk to a lot of different agencies that provide services for this population. So, for instance, probation agencies in our circuit, and it is only the 19th Judicial Circuit, by the way, too. It's only our
Martin,
four
St.
counties,
Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee.
So you have to be touched by the criminal or dependency justice systems in one of those 4 counties. So we outreach to probation, to like guardian ad litem, to the dependency caseworkers, because we want someone that they really want to help but are not able to financially. That's really who we want to try to target. But we also have a website and can take referrals from there.
So it sounds like there are many governmental agencies that support your efforts.
There are.
Are there any that we haven't mentioned yet?
Governmental, St. Lucie County.
Well, we have the court administration, and because we run all of the diversion courts in our public defender jobs, so all of the diversion courts and stuff like that, they all support us because we're helping the clients of those agencies.
And we also on our website, when you go to our website, if you go to put an application, you can put a self-application, and then one of our volunteers will call you and they'll vet the application with you, and you have to send. Obviously, we have to have some documentation that you're who you say you are. But also on that website, if you don't qualify, because the first question that's asked in that application is, have you been involved in the criminal or dependency court system? If you answer no, it automatically sends you to a St. Lucie County resource page or an Indian River County resource page, depending on what county you're applying in. That shows all the other agencies, it will have, mustard seed, the 211. If you have mental health issues, you'll have New Horizons numbers. And we did that because we didn't want people to just get to a stop sign and that be that. And so that's been really helpful. And up until a month ago, we literally ran our whole organization just on volunteers, and one part-time administrative position, because every dollar we wanted to come in, we wanted to go directly to clients. And then a month ago, the Andrew Hunt Foundation gave us money for a part-time staff person, which has really been nice. So we'll be able to do more things. Look for more grants, be on more committees, do more things than we could do having our full-time government jobs. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, besides United Way and the United Ways, I should say, and the Treasure Coast, who else? How else do you raise funds? Where do you get your funds? So now you said Andrew Hunt, you have local foundations or private foundations.
We have about 5 private foundations, a couple of local foundations. We of course do our own fundraising. We have one big event a year. We do a cocktail party and golf tournament. We did the cocktail party already. The golf tournament is on April 27th. It's actually a Friday afternoon, and we still have spots if anyone wants to come.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, we do have about 8 foursomes still. It's a great time at Legacy.
Great golf tournament.
We self-raise about $70,000 at that event, which is good for a all-volunteer small organization. So we're always looking for additional foundations. We have some money that's specific for counties. We have United Way of Martin County, specific for Martin County. We have United Way here for St. Lucie, and Indian River. We have 3 foundations that are specific to Indian River County.
Martin County Commission gives us some money.
Yes, and we have Martin County Community Foundation. So we have our hands in different funders for specifically different things.
Right. Well, I appreciate you ladies coming in, and can you believe our time is just about up? I want to thank you for all that you do, both in your job and then your volunteer work. I know that there's a reason why United Way funds this agency, and you just explained it to our community. It's all about helping improve people's lives, continuing to make their lives productive, and that's what we want to focus on. So thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us. If you'd like more information, you can call the United Way office or go to our website.